Hello to you all, dear friends and subscribers. Welcome to this Sunday edition of the Cricket Happening Show, as usual. And well, on this Cricket Happening Show, as I'm coming you with the news that West Indies have lost the second Test match, and thus they have also lost the series 2-0. In fact, Australia have retained the Sir Frank Worrell trophy by thrashing West Indies in this series 2-0. The first match finished inside of 3 days. The second match is finished inside of 4 days. At tea time, everything was wrapped up by the Aussies, and Australia had a very easy win. And as I said yesterday, Michael Clarke threw up a very challenging declaration of 392 runs to get in 2 days. And well, I thought today the West Indies really lacked application, barring Dinesh Ramadhin and Permaul, who contributed 29 and 23 respectively. There was nothing to really talk about, and the Aussies demolished the West Indies for 114, thus paving the way for a series victory. And the victory was by a huge margin of 277 runs. So Australia having a crushing time in this Test series, and they won it 2-0. Now, the other match that I'll be talking about is, as you know, this one-day international series between England and New Zealand this year has been a sort of a very high-scoring affair. And today also one felt that probably not 400, but probably there would be a huge score on the board. But lucky enough, New Zealand bowlers bowled well at the latter stages of the game, and they restricted England to 302. And in the end, even that 302 that England posed to New Zealand was something which was not enough, as New Zealand went on to beat England by 3 wickets and now take a lead of 2-1 in the series. The feature being 2 centuries coming in, one from Kane Williamson, another from Ross Taylor, and they also went on to a record, I thought it was a record 3rd wicket partnership as far as New Zealand were concerned, between Kane Williamson and Taylor. And this was a record now because they eclipsed the earlier record which was there in the name of Martin Crowe, I reckon. And well, they went on to add 206 runs for the 3rd wicket, which paved the way for a New Zealand win. So I'll be talking about that. And then last but not the least, the Bangladesh Test match against India. It was always, I was telling you, if at all some life had to be infused into it, it had to be that India had to actually bowl out Bangladesh, and then they had to enforce the follow-on, which they definitely did. But I thought time was a real constraint at the time. Bangladesh were all out for 256 yesterday, with Ravichandran Ashwin registering his first 5-wicket haul overseas. Now that is something really special, because Ravichandran Ashwin has been having a good time as far as home pitches are concerned, but when he goes abroad he tends to struggle. But today Ravichandran Ashwin was absolutely on the mark, as he registered his first 5-wicket haul overseas against any opposition team. And Bangladesh were forced to follow on, and well, for 15 overs they played, but what they did is they decided that they should not lose any wickets, and they only decided to guard their wickets, as they finished at 23 for no loss. Now, first and foremost, I will go on to the game between West Indies and Australia. As I said today, it was a matter of seeing how West Indies are going to fare, but nothing went their way right from the start of this 4th day, when Shane Dowrich was the first to go, when his stumps were shattered by Mitchell Starc for 4. After that, Shai Hope contributed 16 before being castled by Mitchell Johnson. Blackwood continued his poor form in this series, in this particular Test match, as Jermaine Blackwood, well, he did well in the first innings, I'm sorry about it, He collected a duck here when Josh Hazlewood clean bowled him. And then, as I said, there was Jason Holder, who was the one who actually saved them by avoiding the follow-on. That person today couldn't really do the same heroics that he did on the first innings, as he was gone trying to actually flick a ball from Watson, ended up at short mid-wicket, Stark taking the catch. He was gone for one, and then it was only the bat of Dinesh Ramadhan and Veerasamy Perumal who added 49 runs, where they decided to extend the time, and they did that. But as I said, it was always going to be difficult after losing all the front line batsmen. And then Dinesh Ramadhan made 29 with 3 boundaries, and then Perumal was there still unbeaten at the end of 23. But it was all over for the West Indies, as Johnson picked up the wicket of Ramadhan by forcing Dinesh Ramadhan to nick a catch into the slip cordon, where Michael Clarke held it. And then Nathan Lyon cleaned up the tail by taking Kemar Roach for 3, and Jerome Taylor was dismissed for a pair as he was bowled by Lyon for naught. And that was all over. 114 all out West Indies. I thought they put up a bad show here, and they were crushed by 277 runs. Australia winning the Sir Frank Worrell Trophy by 2-0, and also the series 2-0. And well, Stephen Smith was named the player of the match. The man of the series, the player of the series, went to the young, very promising bowler from Australia, Josh Hazlewood. He had a great series according to me, and I thought he was then absolutely the right choice to be made the player of the series. The bowling, well, the wickets were totally shared. Mitchell Stark, 13 overs, 5 maidens, 34 runs and 3 wickets, bowled splendidly. Hazlewood on the money right from the whole series, I would say. 10 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 18. Nathan Lyon already has become the most famous off-spinner, the most successful off-spinner that Australia have ever produced in their test history here. Nathan Lyon, 7 overs, 3 maidens, 12 runs and 2 wickets. Mitchell Johnson did his job pretty well. 8 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 23. Shane Watson, 4 overs, 2 maidens, 3 runs and 1 wicket. Match is all over, and Australia have retained. In fact, they won the Sir Frank Worrell Trophy against the West Indies in great style here at Kingston in Jamaica. So, and what a challenging, I mean, one has to really say that Michael Clarke really did a challenging declaration, and also one has to say the Aussie bowlers definitely supported Michael Clarke's decision and bowled superbly. Well, so from here, let me move on to New Zealand versus England. We are talking about the third one-day international, which was played today between New Zealand and England at Southampton, and well, it was England who actually won the toss, and they decided to bat first. Well, if you look at the card of the Englishmen, well, they definitely didn't have a good start today. They lost Jason Roy. As far as this particular match was concerned, there were debuts for Ben Wheeler of New Zealand, and he had a very good debut, I thought, which I'll talk about. He picked up 3 wickets for 63 on his test debut. In fact, Southee was the one who, in fact, Wheeler was the one who, with his maiden one-day international wicket on his test debut, started off the proceedings here when he had Alex Hales out for 23 of 21 deliveries, 4 fours. Jason Roy Castle was clean bowled by Tim Southee for 9 of 17 balls with 1 4, and then we had a big revival coming in the form of Morgan, the captain, who has shown that he's in some great form here in this particular one-day series, as once again he had good support from Joe Root at the other end, and this was a very good partnership which started, and in fact the score was taken from 34 for 2 in the 7th over by Joe Root and Morgan, the captain, to 139. So it was a 105-run partnership, which saw Morgan making 71 of 82 deliveries with 4 fours and 2 sixes, and Joe Root contributing 54 of 63 deliveries with 6 fours. In fact, the wicket first to go was Joe Root when the partnership was broken, when Michael Santner, the left-arm spinner, breached through the defences of Joe Root for 54, and then Kane Williamson as we all know that he's a man with a golden arm. He was the one who dismissed Morgan by clean bowling him for 71. But after that, it was the batting of Ben Stokes which really caught the eye, as Ben Stokes had a beautiful battle, I thought, mainly with Mitchell McClenaghan. First, in fact, Mitchell McClenaghan actually beat him outside the off stump, but the next delivery, Ben Stokes had put some enormous power into the stroke as he sent the ball soaring over the stands, and it fell into a burger stall. So it was such fiercely struck, and after that the battle continued between Ben Stokes and Ben Wheeler, and I thought Ben Stokes definitely won the battle as he pummeled one more into the open territory for 6, and then finally Ben Wheeler was the one who picked up his wicket when he clean bowled him for a very attractive 68 of just 47 deliveries with 7 fours and 2 sixes. After that, Butler made 13 of 10 balls, 2 fours. Billings was into a very good partnership with Ben Stokes, and we saw Billings for the first time really showing some rare aggression as he started stroking the ball pretty well when he collected 34 of 16 deliveries with 6 fours. And that was a time when, if you look at the England score, they were in fact they were 288 for 6 in the 42nd over. But after that, it was totally the New Zealand bowlers started holding sway over the Englishmen, because one probably at 288, one thought that they were looking good for a score of probably 350, but all those hopes were dashed as Matt Henry picked up Rashid's wicket. He also picked up Willie's wicket, who was playing the game today. Mark Wood was not on 3. Finn was bowled by Saudi, and I thought New Zealand did pretty well to restrict England to 302. Now, as far as the bowling was concerned, from the Kiwis, Tim Southee 8.2 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 44. Ben Wheeler on his one-day international debut did a decent job, I thought. 10 overs, no maiden, 63 runs and 3 wickets. Matt Henry bowled 10 overs, no maiden, 64 runs and 2 wickets. Mitchell McClenaghan had a very good battle with Ben Stokes, which was pretty interesting to watch. 10 overs, no maiden, 2 for 64. Santner, the spinner, 5 overs, no maiden, 1 for 30. Grant Elliott bowled 2 overs for 17. Kane Williamson, 2 overs, no maiden, 1 for 12. Now, New Zealand started off their approach, but unfortunately, chasing 302, they lost both the openers pretty cheaply, and first the wicket to go was Martin Guptill. Now, David Willey, who was playing in this game, who was playing his second one-day international in his one-day international career, he picked up the wicket of Martin Guptill when he had him LBW for 2, and then we saw Mark Wood sending Brendan McCullum back into the pavilion for 11 of 9 deliveries with 2 fours. So once that happened, it was New Zealand who were looking in trouble at 36 for 2 when McCullum departed. But then this particular partnership absolutely quashed all the hopes England had, as this partnership went on to record this happened to be a record 3rd wicket partnership which happened between Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor. Kane Williamson making a very nice 118 of 113 deliveries with 12 fours and 1 6, and Ross Taylor playing a very, very classy innings of 110, and this was his 2nd consecutive century in this one-day international series of 123 balls with 12 fours, making sure that England wouldn't have any chance here, because this partnership really took away all the gloss as far as England were concerned, as this partnership went on to add a record-breaking 206 runs for the 3rd wicket, which took the score on to 242. After that, after that we saw that the Williamson's wicket was taken by Willie for 118, and then Ross Taylor was bowled by Willie for 110, and that was the time there was a bit of a sort of a stutter, I would say, but that stutter was I would say just a bit of it, as Grant Elliott's wicket was taken by Rashid for 5. Ben Stokes picked up 2 wickets by getting Santner for 21 of 16 with 3 fours, and Luke Ronchi was sent back to the pavilion by Stokes for 13 of 14 balls with 1 6. And then the debutant Ben Wheeler not out on 3, and Tim Southee not out on 5 saw them home as New Zealand won this third one-day international match by 3 wickets. Thus, they had a 2-1 lead in the series. Let's have a look at the bowling card of the Englishmen. Stephen Finn, 10 overs, none for 55. David Willey proving a bit costly there. 10 overs, 1 made and 69 runs and 3 wickets. Mark Wood, 10 overs, no made and 1 for 48. I thought he was the best bowler on show today. Rashid, 10 overs, no made and 1 for 72. Also getting some bit of a tap there. Ben Stokes, 6 overs, 2 for 35. Bowled well. Joe Root, 3 overs, none for 21. And Kane Williamson of New Zealand was named man of the match. So, what this one-day series has been some high-scoring affairs, and this is the only time that we saw that we didn't have a very big score. In the sense, 302 is also considered to be big, but for New Zealand, even 302 didn't prove so big. So now New Zealand have a 2-1 lead in the series, and well, the one-day series is getting really interesting, and I think it's really attracting a lot of audience here as far as this one-day series between England and New Zealand are concerned, with England showing some rare aggression and New Zealand following up with more aggression, and it is very interesting series according to me. Well, from here I will take you back to India versus Bangladesh, and India versus Bangladesh, as I said, it was all about the rain not being there, but again rain definitely was a sort of a hurdle, no doubt about it, in the series. Well, Bangladesh were all out for 256 yesterday. In fact, it all started with Harbhajan Singh picking up the wicket. In fact, he picked the first picked up the wicket of Shakib Al Hasan, who was at the crease today. Shakib Al Hasan, and I thought it was Soumya Sarkar at the crease. Shakib Al Hasan was the first to go. Caught Saha, bowled Ashwin for 9 of 15 balls with 2 fours. Soumya Sarkar was tested by Varun Arun's pace bowling. Varun Arun was bowling a lot of good bouncers today, and it's very good to see someone from India really bowling at 150 clicks, and he was pretty quick there, Varun Arun, and his bouncers were absolutely well directed, which was really well directed. It was good to see Varun Arun generating a lot of pace on this pitch. Soumya Sarkar had an impressive knock where Soumya Sarkar is such a player who normally likes to play his strokes. He continued to play on the strokes. He had some good company from the little debutant, test debutant wicket-keeper batsman Liton Das, who got the nod because of Mushfiqur Rahim not keeping wickets. And Liton Das had a wonderful debut, and we saw that he's an impressive bloke in the making here as he stroked 44 of 45 deliveries with 8 fours and 1 6, and he was there in a very good partnership. I thought it was with Shogata Hum, if I'm not wrong, because Soumya Sarkar left when he was clean bowled by Oren for 37 as he dragged the ball into the stumps with 7 fours. Liton Das really lit up by making 44 on his first appearance in one day in international cricket, and he looked to be pretty impressive. And we all know that he has also been selected for the one-day international series, and I am told Tamim Iqbal and Liton Das will open the innings. It will be pretty interesting to see how Liton Das plays when the one-day international series starts. But looking at the way this young bloke from Bangladesh played on his test debut, he showed good signs of temperament, and he really stood the test well, and he looks to be pretty impressive with his knock of 44 or 45 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. After that, it was, as I said, after that there was nothing to really talk about. Shogata Hum was out for 9, Tajul Islam was not out on 16, Shahid was out to the bowling of Harbhajan Singh for 6, Jubair Hussain run out for naught, and Bangladesh were out for 256, and they were forced to follow on. Now looking at the Indian bowling card, Ishan Sharma 7 overs for 24, Ravichandran Ashwin, as I said, registering his first 5-wicket haul overseas, 25 overs, 6 maidens, 87 runs and 5 wickets, bowled superbly. Umesh Yadav 7 runs for 45. Varun Arun, as I said, he was looking good as far as pace was concerned. He was really hurrying the batsman. He was harrying the batsman, and what a spell he bowled. 9 overs, no maiden, 1 for 27. And Harbhajan Singh, in his comeback game into Test cricket, also bowled extremely well. 17.5 overs, 2 maidens, 64 runs and 3 wickets for Budgie, as we fondly call him, Harbhajan Singh. And Bangladesh, following on, had to play 15 overs, but probably they were pretty wary that they didn't want to take any chances. And if you look at the Bangladeshi card, they ground out those 15 overs by making just 23 runs. With opener Tamim Iqbal not out on 16 with 3 boundaries. Imrul Kais not out on 7 with 1 boundary. Match over. The match was drawn, and it was and the man of the match went to Shikhar Dhawan for his very wonderful knock of 173 runs. The bowling: Umesh Yadav 2 overs, 1 maiden, none for 4. Ravichandran Ashwin 6 overs, 2 maidens, none for 8. Harbhajan Singh 5 overs, 2 maidens, none for 11. And Murli Vijay and Shikhar Dhawan wheeling their arms over just for an over, and which were both maidens. So the one-off Test match was drawn. But I have something to say here as far as this series is concerned. Now, this was going to be a solitary Test match between India and Bangladesh, and according to me, everyone knew that in Bangladesh it is going to be raining. Now, if a solitary Test match was played and it had gone the whole distance, I would have not been prompted to make this statement. I thought that instead of having and we all knew that in Bangladesh this is the time there will be a lot of rain, then I thought that both the boards should have discussed this and probably thought of having some T20 matches instead of having a Test match, because having a T20 match, how it could help, even though rain would prove a spoiled sport, it's only a 40-over game, and you could have, whatever the time they got, they could have gone into some crash over thing where they could have probably played 5 overs a side game, and the audience would have been really been interested, and I think there would have been some maybe the audiences would have also a lot of people would have flocked to the ground, because the only reason that I'm saying that is because since everyone knew that this was the rainy season in Bangladesh, and holding a solitary test, if you're holding a solitary test, I think rain should not be the reason. It should be something that it should be held in a very good weather, and the match should have gone the full distance. So I hope that both the cricket boards really look into that very seriously and take it up and see to it that in the future in international cricket one does not want to have solitary Test matches being rained out like what happened between India and Bangladesh. So because it's only just one Test match, that's the reason I'm saying that. This is purely my opinion, and I'm not, as I said, I'm always saying I'm not a critic of anything. I just voice my pure opinion here. Now that is one thing, and they could have played some 20 matches. Probably they could have played 2 or 3 20 matches, T20 matches, and Bangladesh, probably the Bangladesh Cricket Board would have gone some gate revenue too by actually getting these matches in. Anyways, that's purely my opinion on this cricket show. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, I think I have waxed eloquent on this Cricket Happening show enough. It's time for me to draw the curtain down on this Cricket Happening show, this on a Sunday. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow, that's on a Monday, on my next Cricket Happening show. And what it would be, I wouldn't be able to say right now, because unless until there are some international cricket matches coming up, or probably we'll be looking up at some cricketing issues tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye this on a Sunday. Thank you.